I'd like to see Tiny or the Hoodwink. The reason why I wouldn't like to see the Nyx is because you have no pushing power. There it comes out. You have no pushing power, and you don't have enough damage on your other position 5. So that's why I'm not the biggest fan of the Nyx. Nyx is always good when you look at him against other heroes. So Batter and the Shaker, obviously, they don't like playing against the Nyx. But the thing is, can you finish the job off?
Hmm.
So I'd really like Hokori to get some heroes that actually do a lot of damage. And they sometimes tend to do it. Hokori tends to 5-man quite a lot, so maybe that is gonna help. But I think Execration, yeah, they just go for fat heroes now, and Hokori is gonna be in trouble.
Palos Podge, potentially. He's got 3 games on that so far. 2 wins, 1 loss. These games have been against Lil Gun, Fnatic, and most importantly, they won Boom with this. They won Boom with this Pudge before in game 1 of their best of 2 series in the group stages. Can they repeat that? And then also we bring the Shadow Shaman into the mix. That most likely indicates, wait, how are they mixing this up? Because that they have not played the Shaman before.
5 Shaman and
Abeng Shaman
1
could be.
Pudge. Yeah, I think it is gonna be because in the lane, usually the Shadow Shaman as a 5 has issues going and harassing people. He's very squishy, very easy to kill. Now you see a Nyx Assassin, so the damage output isn't there, but more so you have a Pudge in front of you. So both of these heroes that have high damage, if you come close to them, they will hit you and destroy you. If you don't, they will deny every single creep. So in a laning matchup, them together really do make sense. Both of them do a lot of damage. Pudge is hard to kill. Shadow Shaman is easy to kill, but you cannot go through the Pudge to get to the Shaman, especially not
That
with
is
the
true.
Nyx.
That is true. It's the Pudge and the Puck both kind of. If the Puck can harass the back line, that's basically his job for this game. But then you have the Pudge on the other side that has such a beefy front that is so hard to get through. Shakers and Batriders can easily lock down the Puck if they get the opportunity for it. So Hokori really needs either one, an answer to the Pudge to break through that front line, or a way to nimbly move around and kind of, poke and prod, hit and run. Weaver, I guess, does a bit of both. Like he's a potential Linken's builder this game, which is an answer to the bat. He's still going to get hit by the Earthshaker, which is going to be a bit of an issue for him. And if he does, Pudge can follow it up on it. They've got a couple heroes capable of building utility items to break Linken's to get those ultis off and kill Weaver on the spot, but that lets Puck and Nyx play in. So I kind of like the idea of this Weaver into this Hokori draft.
I like it. The problem I have with the Weaver is there's a lot of lockdown on the other side, but if you're constantly going in together with the Nyx Assassin, Puck, and the Weaver, you might just be able to survive on the back of the Nyx Assassin Spike Carapace. I think it's a necessity that you have a core, maybe a carry, maybe an offlane, but either way, a core that can constantly fight, not really needing a lot of items, and that capitalizes on the low armor of the enemies. Because going for magic damage isn't going to work out. But increasing everyone else's physical damage with the minus armor from the swarm does make sense. So overall, I like the Weaver, but also small missteps can cost you the your life. So it's not gonna be the easy thing to execute, but I think it's after the first 4 picks of Execration and 3 of Hokori, I think Hokori needed something like this.
10 seconds.
And most importantly, this is not even a carry Weaver by the looks of it, because Vitaly has played this Weaver before. Still allowing them to go for that physical damage amplifier from the swarm that Weaver applies. So what is it gonna be? There's no Void, no Pudge. There's no Morphling now either, which just got banned, which is Lumiere's most played hero. The TA's Refraction's gonna get broken. Pudge's counter is TB. There's a Medusa possibility, but I'm not sure if Medusa is necessarily the best option here. Wraith King is another that Lumiere could play, but then he's got another 10 heroes that he's played in the course of this tournament. This guy's got almost 20 heroes. So it's just like, I guess he can play anything.
I'm okay with PA, Phantom Assassin. I think that would be pretty solid. All 4 of these heroes of Hokori can constantly fight, apply pressure. If not get kills, then at least go in and out and constantly keep Execration on their toes. And then you have this PA that will get farmed up, and with the minus armor provided by the Weaver, will pretty much one-shot Bat, Earthshaker, Shadow Shaman. These 3 heroes don't do anything. And Pudge isn't really that high of an armor hero, even though you do go for phase boots and can go for armor items as the game progresses.
Yeah, Pudge usually has something like 10 to 11 armor with his base plus added on top, and I'm a bit 50-50 with the PA, because you can't fight without BKB. Like, you go in, you're hexed, or stunned, or lassoed, or Pudge eats you. Plus, you take a goddamn amount of damage by the time you hit the BKB. There's the Aghanim's up on the Pudge for that extra rot damage. Now you've got the TA coming in as well. I don't think I'm a fan of the Phantom Assassin pick at all in this game. It's just it seems good. It's very good with the minus armor, but it's a double-edged sword.
It could be bad. They go for the Venom. Yeah,
So
I think this is
Venom and
the
Weaver
right
carry.
choice.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's the right choice because they saw the TA. So you want to have something against it. The problem I have with the Veno is that you are playing against the Shadow Shaman Pudge. The hero is very slow and easy to hook. So this is gonna be the real test of this Venomancer. Against the Terrorblade, he managed to win the lane, but against the Pudge, it could go either way, really. And it comes down to the skill shots of Palos. So I'm, it is scary for Hokori to pick this one up, but again, I think it's a necessity. Still, though, Execration for me, they have a much better lineup if you look at it, and I think it's not gonna be the easiest thing for Hokori to kind of deal with the shortcomings of their draft.
Yeah, execution-wise, I think Execration's much more straightforward.
Yep.
You can hit the power spike timing for TA fairly well with this lineup. Pudge is also active at the same time, but the laning stage does put a lot of emphasis into this game. How much work is Omni Knight going to have with his trading? Then we have the Nyx Assassin as well, who isn't really the best at poking back either. So I guess you could say Execration's lanes are safe, and the game is played through the mid lane.
True, though there is a chance. There is a chance that the Veno crushes the Pudge and the.
I mean, this is SCA Dota, man. There's always a chance.
No, this is international Dota. It's not SCA Dota.
It is true. It is international Dota with SA in as well.
Yeah, so the thing is, let's say you miss the hook with the Pudge, and then the Veno starts moving forward, the Nyx starts moving forward, and they constantly poke on the Pudge. It's not gonna be easy. We can see how Palos adjusted. He got the Ring of Regen as his first item. If he was laning against the Weaver, it would be a Ring of Protection. So he understands that the constant poke can kill him, or at least bully him so much that he cannot last hit in that lane. But still, Pudge and the Shadow Shaman should be coming out ahead in terms of CS, especially just because of the huge damage difference they have. Nyx Assassin and the Venomancer, they don't even have 100 damage altogether between the two of them, whereas the Pudge has 80, almost 80, and the Shadow Shaman has 70. It's just a big difference.
Yeah, that is a lot of punch that they can pack, and I think it does play a pretty key role for your safe laner here. Like when you're adding up this combo of Abeng and Palos playing the same lane with a lot of right-click damage, enabling them to be the aggressors. And you can see the fluffy hat pickup from the Shaman as well. He really wants to make sure that I have this good level 1 advantage and not fall short because of I'm missing out on 100 or 200 HP that I can't trade anymore.
See, this... looking at this Hokori lineup, it's gonna be very cool to look at it, but now it kind of changes a bit. It's gonna be more about playing around the Veno. So I think whatever Hokori do, they cannot allow this Veno to be bullied completely in the laning stage. So I'm kind of curious to see how Theolicor will make that happen, because every single time you run between the lanes, it's gonna be towards the Veno, unless he's rotating to the mid lane. But then again, you're gonna be playing around him.
All right, well, let's start slowly rolling this game towards its beginning. Bounty's going to be up in 50 seconds, and Execration stacking up around mid. Hokori going to be gently moving around the mid area as well. They did get their Observer Ward already placed down. This time, put it a bit further away onto the side, and as you can see, this is also placed pretty passively for Execration on theirs. So it's a bit out of the usual sentry spot ranges where they're like most likely here, or somewhere about here. Might just be a bit out of distance to be caught.
It's mostly for runes, and you're seeing a little bit of the high ground. You don't care much about the rotations for execration in this game, at least not from the bottom lane. So
Yep.
that's not that big of a deal.
Hook.
Hook connects.
Hook connects. That's a early amount of poke, but there's also the Ring of Regen up for the next assassin, so he should be coming out with some pretty decent HP as they start their laning stage here with Vitaly. Gonna have their hands filled with this Shadow Shaman with the constant poke and positioning. He does put the sentry down, but no ward to be found here. Could be that Execration during their little break here before today's game has had time to look at Hokori's most likely ward spots. This time, just not quite getting the catch onto those ops wards. Most important lane of this game, most likely going to be Bob versus Analog in the mid lane, TA versus the Puck. How do they get a role for themselves here to start the game off? And where are they able to move from here?
As the levels become higher and higher, it's gonna be easier and easier for the TA to get CS. You know, you cannot deny with the refraction any longer, but at least you're gonna be coming out ahead, considering that you're not gonna be missing many of those creeps. So it is a matchup as old as time, not as TA favored as it used to be, but still quite heavily TA favored. So Bob should be coming out ahead of this lane. Yeah. He'll be coming out of this lane really, really strong. For me, bottom lane is the one that could make or break Hokori, and we're already seeing Vitaly taking a big beating. So Execration, they understand their strength, and they understand until like level 3 they can't do much. Though top lane, Gardic is being burned down. He doesn't have the Heavenly Grace just yet, and Execration get a kill on the top lane where it's a Batrider versus the Omni Knight. That is something that shouldn't happen, in the perfect situation to do so just before the Omni hits level 2.
Yeah, that's a pretty important one to get the kill that early on. And with the Batrider in the off lane, you can make these kind of plays. Like this is the level 2 with Firefly and Napalm, and on a target like that, it just seems very optimal to go for it, as they did decide to set their lanes a tad bit differently. As you can see, I mean, we did kind of already touch upon the topic that it is the TA versus the Puck in the mid lane. We were at first thinking, are they putting the Batrider into mid to get this obvious mid matchup of Bat versus Puck, but with this TA you get a lot more out of it, and now this Batrider has a bit more kill potential onto this Gardic support. Like, even if he has Heavenly Grace to purge off the stacks of Napalm, he's still a pretty slow moving support, and doesn't really provide too much cover for Lumiere.
That was just a nice play top lane from Tino. He has a bug on himself, but he sees that Shanks is somewhat in trouble, so he focuses on his bug, and that is very important, because that swarm minus armor, it can very quickly add up bottom.
That's a bottom kill right for Vitaly and Theoliker, and almost getting a connection as well onto Abe. They just slowly burned him down. The corrosive poison is a bit too much to work with.
Hokori have been very patient with their Veno lanes. They understand their timings perfectly. Vitaly was constantly taking some damage, but never coming into a situation where he's gonna die. And because of it, now they get a kill even on Palos on a lane that you could argue should go the way of the Pudge. And Execration don't even have the CS advantage anymore.
TA is also starting to build up a nice lead here in the mid lane, 23-16. For Palos' sake, he's got 13, but so does Vitaly, and also that one kill will help him out a bit here. Very important kill as well, and looks like already the pieces of the urn are now ready. There's no dust inside the urn yet, so you gotta get a couple kills first to get some fillings.
This is not looking nice for Palos right now. He would have liked to get some hooks on the Veno, but Vitaly's positioning seems to have been really good. It just comes down to coordination between him and Theolicor, and considering they play this Veno lane often, it just seems like they know what they're gonna be dealing with.
And also the fact that Abeng has gone for 2 points in Shackles means that they want to connect Shackles and Hook together. But even that's not really working in their favor either, because they're afraid of this next assassin showing up at the wrong time, canceling it right away, maybe getting a stun onto both. And here's the Gale, and Palos in trouble. They notice that the Shaman is not even nearby to get a couple pokes in, but it's not going to lead into a kill. Not going to be doing enough damage. Meanwhile, Tino poking this Soft Weaver in the top lane. Even with 2 stacks of Napalm, he takes a lot of damage. Here we go with the dive as well. Tino wants this kill, but that Shikuchi will keep him safe just behind the tower. No vision for Tino. Gardic being chased this time. Tino starting to burn him up as well. And the bug turn. Shanks. Lumiere going a bit, he's going to commit to this. He's got 18 stick charges as well. He's going to fight to the end for this one. And Shanks, he is dropping somewhat, but Lumiere is still taking some heavy hits here. It is a very brawly lane, but it's not necessarily a kill. But in the mid lane, Analog, he's about to drop, and yes, he will. Bob will hunt him down.
That's without the traps. That should never, never happen without traps. Bottom lane, Abeng in trouble as well.
They've got the stun out, and that's a Shaman dead, but it's denied by Palos. I agree, like, not having traps in mid and Puck just like that, getting caught, no mana, no nothing whatsoever. Bob just... That's an outplay moment.
Capitalizing on the enemy's mistakes. Palos is in trouble as well. He doesn't have his buddy, and the flash heap will run out fairly soon.
Yeah, that's... Palos is gonna die too. Like, even if they... even if he denies Abeng, he can't deny himself. Meanwhile, at the top lane, Lumiere, very low on HP. Does get the bugs out onto Tino, but that's only just to fend them off for the time being for him to get some regen out of the Tango. But he is soft. He's very soft right now.
This is a disaster for Execration in the bottom lane. The one lane, they could have gotten a few kills, but as I mentioned, it relied on the skill shots of Palos, and if you don't get any hooks off on the Veno, you're always going to be in trouble. This hero does way too much damage for you to go through. Now with your urn charges, you're gonna have to be waiting for a rotation, but the TA isn't the hero to do so with. So a very uncomfortable position for Execration so far. I think you just stay here on the bottom lane as long as you can, so that you keep the tower alive. Though they get the hook off now.
Well, see if they can get a continuation for the kill here. Vitali looks to turn on the Shadow Shaman with an urn tick here. Theolica right in between them. More poisons coming out. He is ticking low, but they will finally connect onto the Venomancer for the kill. Theolica, he does not have a Carapace available. Palos has his hook ready. Just needs to land the stun and needs to dodge the hook somehow. Oh, Abeng walks in between.
Take me.
Probably the Knicks had already gone into a direction where it might have ended up hitting a creep instead. But at least this one is a bit different for them, at least because Analog... He dies for the second time in the mid lane, and that's another one for Bob, who's leading net worth now.
Man, just as I say it, the Veno dies, though Bob is in a
Gardic
lot of
as well.
trouble right now.
Gardic is going to be falling too, unless the Theolica gets a good stun out, and he's going to have to TP home. He lives with 20 HP.
As soon as I thought the bottom lane was done for Execration, Palos gets that hook onto the Veno. If the Veno is caught first, it's a lot different because he's the damage dealer, and if he cannot constantly poke, it's just not going to be that much damage onto the Pudge and Abeng, and that's why we saw in the end they got 2 kills. But these kills happening in the mid lane, for me, they're very important because Bob is getting so much out of this early game.
What they can achieve with this, with Palos slowly climbing back. Puck is now bottom of net worth. Palos gonna walk in to steal the big Wild Wing Ripper. Tino's off to a pretty good start as well. He's going for drums first, and he's lining up Boots of Bearing.
But we'll see if he goes directly for that. I like this build for the offlane bat, not going for the Boots of Travel. It allows you to give some kind of team fight to your team that you don't necessarily give. That movement speed early on can be a big issue for the side of Hokori, especially if it allows Execration to get on top of the Venomancer. That is something that Palos really wants to do. Obviously, the best would be with the hook, but if you can't and you need to run into him, you'll take that any day.
Yeah, that can make things a bit easier. You know, the chasing tool, get that extra pushing power for hitting objectives, you know, using drum charges for that. I don't think it will directly push for Boots of Bearing. You know, at least burn the drum charges first to, like, you have 1 charge remaining or something like that, and then upgrade it. Get the money ready for the recipe as soon as you have it, and then just buy it straight away. Get that, like, pump up the maximum out of that early game.
So Palos now with those kills, he's allowed to stay in the bottom lane a lot safer. And I think Vitaly now, he actually feels pretty scared. So it is a bit weird that they don't have really good vision protecting him directly. They're just protecting rotations towards him, and considering the positioning of the ward on the bottom lane, it might not even see a rotation coming towards him. So I'm kind of afraid for Vitaly right now. If he gets hooked again, he will most inevitably die.
Yeah, and he's going to be in a tough situation if he does end up in that spot. Like, he's off to a good start with the Venomancer. Like, the farm is looking pretty good. He's approaching his vessel timing in a rather sensible manner. Holding on to some couple of neutral items as well, so things are looking pretty good. Meanwhile, Hokori setting up for the top lane. We've got a gank squad on their way towards Tino and Shanks. And that comes at the power of the puck, unless Analog decides to stick for a bit longer. Nice Radiant scan being used. They're like, where's their mid laner? Oh, most likely here. Okay, they're on their way. Let's back out. Analog isn't actually there.
And destroys the Olicor's idea of a gank. They don't have a sentry on the top lane on the side of Execration, so this
They're gonna go Bob
great.
Well, this Bob, they want to get that tower. They will get it. And all the silence is here. Bob, he's got a meld available, but it won't really save him here unless Aubin can do something. He holds the puck on the spot. Shanks for the Echo Slam. No, was thinking about it. Big wave there as well that could have done a decent amount of damage, but he will not take the jump this time. TA lives with 300 HP. As soon as all that traffic shows up in mid, everybody scatters back around the map, but that's your mid tower gone. Good commitment.
And Bob lives because of the high AHP that he has, and that's because of the net worth difference. That's because he crushed the mid lane. He has 6k net worth, and that Dragon Lance allows him to survive. But what I liked there was Execration. They thought the puck was on top, and they started TPing to the other part of the map. As soon as they saw the puck catching the TA in the mid lane, they stopped all of that, and everyone starts running there towards him to save him. And in the end, they do manage to do it. If Tino maybe TP'd to the bottom lane and there was no Batrider there, it is a question if Hokori maybe would have decided to even chase down the TA.
This Weaver is also slowly improving his standings here. He's got the Maelstrom already picked up, going for the Dragon Lance, but well, he misses every last hit onto the tower. That is a bit unfortunate. Happens to the best of us. But they've got Tino in readiness. He's got himself an extra drum. Sorry, an extra crown. Top of the drum, and body blocks coming out from Theoliker. Tino stops to right click, and he's gonna end up burnt by himself as Theoliker walks in with the Carapace. 3 points in it. Shanks might be a second. Echo Slam, nice damage. Bob for the double. The Psyblade spill will take down Lumiere as Theoliker takes the initial hit.
I was about to say Hokori, how cool was that? They waited for the lasso to be expended. They could have killed the Batrider in a second and just gotten out, but they wanted the lasso to be expended there. So he waited on the Nyx assassin, and then they did manage to force it out. But in the end, it cost them so much more because they lose 2 of their heroes. They wanted to go for a chase. They were too deep, and then the rest is history. They both died.
Yeah. Analog with his Witchblade wants to look for a kill into the Shaker. He's doing a decent amount of damage here, but the dot already runs out, and there's a lot of traffic around him as well. So Analog still deprived of his first kill of the game. Hokori would like to start pressuring Execration, especially knowing that this TA is getting stronger. Palos is having a good game for himself, and he's getting closer to Aghanim's, and they're doing exactly that. They're going to be jumping him onto the mid lane with the stuns, and Pudge rotting himself down to 1 HP. Analog cleans him out, and he finally gets his first kill. He's been trying like 3 or 4 times this game, but he finally gets it.
As soon as you have the Witchblade, it's a little bit different. It's a little bit easier, and they finally killed Palos. He doesn't have the full hood. He went greedy there, wanting to get the axe faster, and I think this time it definitely cost him his life, so definitely not worth it right now.
Radiant's middle tower is being attacked. Radiant structures are fortified.
For a reason, Vitaly also snuck in to steal 1 last hit, because he does have a plate mail coming with a courier as he's building towards a Lotus Orb. Now this tower easily taken away with the DD rune as well on Analog. Coil is ready. Execration has been spotted around the area, but a pretty difficult one to catch. Smoke on smoke action. Hoping to find Lumiere in the top lane, and Hokori coming to the defense at the same time. Do they clash at the river or on the high ground? Shanks spotted. Theoliker turns around. Analog's going to be going in. He's found the Shaker into the coil, and this time he cleans him out. No problemo. Italian on the river. Tino's coming in with the lasso. He's got boots as well. Trap slow. Difficult to get there, though. So Execration smoke ends up them losing a hero.
I really would like Shanks this game to get a shard before the blink. The way that Hokori want to play, they just showed it in the mid lane. You constantly spray out the wards, and then you come to the tower and attack it. So you want to control the area that way. A fissure into a follow-up, stun into a hook is a complete combo breaker for this, and this is something that Hokori don't have much answer for. So I think it would be the right call just to get the shard before the blink and go fishing with Palos.
Yep, and it also lets the Shaman play a little bit more easier. Like he doesn't have to carry the full weight of control in those fights because it's the Shaker but the long range stun, locking them down, forced positioning with the Pudge hook. Then Shaman has a bit more time to think about what does he want to make and what does he want to do. And Shanks is being hunted as he gets hit by a Plague Ward on the cliff of Vitali. Right now, Execration spreading around to split top and bottom at the same time. Lumiere's going to be showing himself in the lane, but so does Tino just at the same time, and they're going to go for it. Vicious Stun comes out. They've got themselves the lasso. They need to burn him down, and they will have Abeng to follow it up with the control, and that is your carry dead. You did not expect the Shaman to be there as well, but there's the lockdown.
You can see how immediately after they went for the Weaver, Hokori is invading the triangle. But, you know, it's just so obvious for Bob. No one is helping the Weaver, so they have to be on me. He gets himself out. I like the Lotus Orb this time around on Vitali. You just use it on a target that has been stunned, and there's not gonna be, it's not gonna be easy to use the Hex, no Shackles, no Pudge Dismember, or a double lasso. All of it is gonna be a problem.
He wants to chase, but there's a trap that's gonna be slowing Vitali down. Nope, they're not going to pop it at all. They're just going to let it through. Abeng is still yelling, help! Somebody help! Anybody! Nobody! Oh, my friends. Nobody to help him.
You just reminded me of Lion King, and I just got a few tears in my eyes. Anyways, Palos on top lane is actually in a lot of trouble.
Yeah. The Rotten King. No longer a long-live the king, as Lumiere snipes down Palos in the top lane. Bottom lane, they also found Analog, but no lasso. He should be quite fine with his current situation. And Shanks, he stuck to the plan. He kept the blink, and he's got it in 5 gold. So Blink Echo is up.
He's very over-leveled and over-farmed on this Shaker. I mean, if you look at him and the other supports, it's just night and day difference. All of it happened because of the Echo in the top lane when they killed 2. And that is something that put him, like, miles ahead of every other support. What I would like for Hokori to get, the Nyx Assassin already has the Fluffy Hat, so just buy a 4-staff in this game. I think it's a necessity against the Shaker.
In trouble. There's the Shaker. Oh, he misses the Echo, but it doesn't matter. Bob still has the damage for it. Ooh, that was so close.
Flame Break pushed the puck away, so it's not like he missed his teammate was like, nah, we don't need that, just keep it to yourself.
No, but the Flame Break pushed him closer to the Echo, but he got himself to jump away. He jaunted away from it. Though, in the top lane, there's going to be a fight of Weaver. He does get the chance to time-lapse himself to safety. Theoliker in between. He's going to stun the Pudge, and Pudge has that fresh Aghanim's. Look at Nyx Assassin drop. That is a lot of damage. This is the big threat factor now. TA still farming, and Aghanim's Pudge is online. How can Hokori respond to this?
They have to play around the Plague Wards. That's it. That's why Execration are just trying to claim as much of the map as they can when there are no Plague Wards. Because it's very, very tough for Hokori to fight if there aren't any.
Hold on, 3 bugs. Weaver going to get stunned, but there's the save from guarding on the high ground. They're going to coil onto 2 as well, as Analog's going to be taking down the Shaman. They're going to be poking the Shanks. Shaker as well. They want to take him down. I'm going to make sure that at least he falls, even if they cannot worry about the TA. Vessel onto Palos. Palos going to be going for the hook onto the Weaver. Weaver barely getting out of the away, but look at the damage. Palos is too big right now. He will finally fall. Bob for the kill, and there's another one. The Weaver is dead as well, and so does the Oliker, and that is a big, big price to pay. Bob with a triple kill, and Roshan is getting also a bit intimidated by the action right in front of his pit. Who goes there? But the classic Skyrim guard goes back in as just the wind.
Luckily for Hokori, they killed a couple of heroes on Execration, so Execration can't go for Rosha. Perfect place to win the fight, just didn't win it convincingly enough. But Bob surviving through all of it, it is a big problem for Hokori. Bob is gonna be one-shotting everyone on Hokori. Do you see like someone tanky on their side? Not really. The only one that has kind of a lot of armor is the Veno because the Lotus, yeah, but as you mentioned, they are very, very soft.
Big issue for them. How do you even build tankiness in this team? Puck going for Lincolns. Can't understand that. You got the Scotty for the Weaver. I feel like Weaver and Omni Knight are going to be the beefiest heroes in this team. Even Omni Knight feels a bit soft. He's going to fall behind in scanning an analog. Oh, he's an easy kill. He does have himself a blink, but you cannot beat Albang and his quick fingers.
Very nicely done. As soon as they got back up, they started running towards the bottom lane. They understood that Analog wants to use the rest of his mana resources to just push things out and get back to the base. You catch him there, and you've just taken away all of the chances of Hokori making a successful team fight. They might be able to get a pick off, but I doubt Execration are gonna allow it at this point.
3,000 lead for Execration as well. They found Gardic. Dino's gonna go for the lasso. Burn down the support. Meanwhile, Roshan has already started Plague Wards and a Deso TA. That's easy. It's a very soft Roshan. That's like clearing a camp. The speed that they're taking this Roshan is just impeccable. Vitali gonna get hooked by Palos. Does get the Nova off, and it's gonna be doing a bit of damage, but to no avail. It's really not going to be an issue for Execration. Not really going to slow down their push either.
No one to capitalize on it. This is... Execration are doing such a good job. They're constantly taking away Hokori's ability to fight. You take away the puck, there is no lockdown, there is no one to finish you off. You take away the Veno, there is no damage. Hokori are not gonna fight you. So Hokori really need to get together somehow. They need an area controlled by those Plague Wards, but there needs to be defense for their Veno. You cannot just let him be alone.
Palos in the bot lane. This is a very important pickoff if they can get it on time. He's still living with 500 HP, but Theoliker is going to die instead. And Gardic can't get there on time. And Lumiere, he's a bit late for the party. Still wants to go in, and they will get the kill. They'll get the silence on Shaman as well. Abeng, I thought he dodged it for a moment, but no. Big kills for Hokori in a situation where they're about to lose control of the game. I just saw the BKB picked up on the TA. So this is the window of opportunity for Execration to basically win this game. But for Hokori, pickoffs like that are super crucial.
Yeah, very big, because you're slowing down the momentum, the one that Execration had right now. The first Aegis for the TA, usually you build up an advantage there, and with the second one, you win the game. So if you slow down that build-up of advantage right now, if you're Hokori, you're gonna be happy, considering that you're very immobile on some of your heroes, mainly the Veno and the Omni. Getting those kills on an area that you control is crucial.
See what they can do with this. Hokori already setting up a defense here. Theoliker's been spotted. Bob knows the Nyx Assassin's location, roughly. Now they're going to be finding it as well as they've put themselves a bit more detection. But Tino's already coming in. And there we go. They're going to take away the troublemaker to start things off with. In the bot lane, another fight onto Palos, who's trying to desperately push this bottom wave out. And again, here comes Lumiere. The Weaver is on his way. Abeng is also here. There's the bugs flying in. It will not connect on the Shaman. But again, the silence analog will find the Shaman. But Shanks is there. Abeng can't do anything to save Palos. Lumiere going for the dive. There's going to be a stun coming up. Bob is TPing in and wants to get the damage out, and they've got the puck control. Analog getting trapped, and there's an echo from Shanks, and no time lapse. Disaster strikes for Hokori and Execration. They're wiping the floor with Hokori's heroes.
Gardic is gone. I'm kind of surprised that Palos is going so deep there. I think they are, again, it is Southeast Asia teams being kind of not used to what South America teams want to do. You're fighting two heroes top diving, and they're expecting TPs to be coming out. At that point, Palos is pushing out the lane. But the thing is, Hokori, like, who cares about these guys on the top lane? We're just gonna get a kill. Those guys are already dead, which was a good choice from them, but then over diving a little bit, understanding that they need to get a bit more, and in the end, they get punished for it.
There's a bit of a wraparound coming in. Very smart smoke here from Tino and Shanks. But it's also a super risky one because they are cutting tier 2 and tier 3 angles here. However, they do manage to walk away. They just don't get a catch for themselves, but they want to find Lumiere, who already cut the wave in the top lane. There's a couple traps here as well. So they will get information about the Weaver's werebeings. Bob got himself a Demon Edge coming up closely. Is that a potential Daedalus that we're looking at?
Probably. I doubt you're gonna go for an MKB. There's no
Yeah, I
reason
don't
for
think it's
that.
really
So.
needed this game. True.
Nullifier. It might be a nullifier. Oh no, nullifier is made from the sacred relic. I'm crazy. Whatever.
That would be a bit different. Though I don't like the idea of the nullifier, but yeah, I think it's just raw damage. Raw damage.
It's very tough for Hokori. It's not only about the gold lead, it's about them not being able to control an area with the Vano. The Vano cannot cross the river, and that is the big issue, which means that across the river, Hokori cannot fight, and when you're on your side, make damn sure that Execration are only going to be starting fights there if they have better vision. So, almost impossible for Hokori to get a good fight. They have to continue with the side lane pushes and dives, and hope that their Puck and the Weaver can get out, and by doing that, forcing Execration back and allowing Vitaly to claim a bit more of the map.
$7,000 lead for Execration. Looking at the graphs as well, they've got a very, very formidable lead for themselves, 80-20. And continuing to do so, Hokori have to play on the back foot here. And it's not looking too hot for them at the current time. Venomancer wants to build a halberd. Can be useful in long drawn-out fights to prevent Bob from getting those big hits out, especially those melt attacks. Those are probably going to be the biggest issue. Then we have a lot of defensive tools to try and stretch these fights out. But for Weaver, Weaver needs to get a lot of hits in these fights. And for Lumiere, you got to get rid of all the crowd control. You need to dispose of the shakers. You need to get the lasso out. And most importantly, the shaman needs to die. But Abeng's positioning is going to be very key in how fights are going to go for Execration. And Theolic are already scouting out front. Analog and Gardic are right behind him. He's trying to get in, but the Carapace will be used, and there's the stun, and Tino goes in, and he finds himself, the Hex is there, they've got the Omni Knight, both supports controlled, and this is just not good for Hokori whatsoever. Analog needs to get out of there. He's being hunted, he will coil them to buy some extra time for the escape, but the Fissure comes out again from Shanks, and the follow-up is there as well. An Orb will fly out, he's got the Phase Shift ready, another Waiting Rift, and the Blink, so this Puck is going to be easily moving away, but that coil was necessary. However, they do sack the Theoliker, and Gardic was able to get out, but at the same time, they're going to go onto the Venomancer. He throws the Poison Nova. The Guardian Angel will keep him alive. But they have no damage to follow this up, and Lumiere's not even close. Bottom lane, there's another fight. This time, Analog getting a bit of vengeance onto Tino. But it is just a basic trade of damage.
Very nice bait coming out from Execration. I think they would have gotten more out of that one if the bullwhip wasn't used.
He's been found. They've got the bugs connected. Theoliker's going to be here as well. And there's nothing he can do. There is Abeng, but Abeng's also going to get stunned up by the Carapace. Theoliker might be the one to die on this one. And another stack given away. He needs to get the Shaman. Shaman right next to him. The hook will connect as well. And they got the dust and everything. Shanks, Abeng, Palos. The triplet. Working wonders. Good night, Gardic.
The thing is, it has gotten to a point where with Hokori's two heroes, you cannot kill the Pudge. So you need to bring more. And you don't have the resources to bring more, considering that the others have to be split pushing. It is very impossible for them to play unless Vitaly is out on the map, and he's just unable to do it. So right now, Hokori, how they will approach this, I'm guessing they'll try to just itemize for dealing with the TA in the later portions of the game and hope that they get to that point. So for now, it's that halberd on the Veno, but I still think the Force Staff is going to be a necessity because Execration, they haven't even gone fishing with the Fisher into a hook, and that is a big thing that their two heroes can do together, especially if they're the ones controlling the majority of the map, which is the situation right now.
Yeah, this is not a very good situation at all for Hokori. I'm just worried about like how far can you stretch out this damage with this lineup. The amount of control that you have, you need to be able to just dispose of this Shaman and somehow get to the Shaker. Either silence them or stun them up, but the more the time goes, oh my god, my English. The further this game goes, it is going to be so much harder because of all the tankiness and all the items that are going to be kicking in on the side of Execration for Hokori to get rid of all that ground control for them to actually have a win condition in fights. So I'm not feeling too optimistic about Hokori in this game 1 anymore.
It's looking really tough for
really,
them. Palos,
really dark.
Palos is too tanky. Bob does too much damage, and you have triple BKBs against the lineup that doesn't really do much physical damage other than the Weaver, and even Lumiere is not that great in the right click department. So what Hokori need to do is catch the Shadow Shaman, catch the Shaker,
like
and use the Poison Nova.
This is a very crucial fight that they need to win. Theoliker is going to get the stun on Tino first, but the Bob blinking on Omni Knight Gardic is now Palos charging it as well, and the BKBs will soak up the Poison Nova. They've lost 3 already. And this is just not a fight at all for Hokori. You see Tino gets the chance for a small moment there that, guys, I've got information on all of them. Can you just jump in? Bob does exactly that. He just goes straight onto Gardic, blows him almost up, forces out the BKBs and the Novas from Vitali, and this just basically Execration fully in control of the fights. They just didn't get the damage again. Lumiere couldn't even get a single hit in there.
Straight into Roche. The thing is, Hokori have to understand that they cannot kill a core from 100 to 0 before he gets a BKB off. It is not possible. So if you see a core running towards you, get out if you don't have perfect vision of the backlines. They had good vision, but they didn't see the Shadow Shaman, they didn't see the Shaker, or at least they had no chances of getting on top of him.
Lumiere onto Tino. This is a good chance as he's completely isolated from the rest of the heroes. These are kills that they need. That's 600 gold for a kill. One piece closer to his BKB. Abeng going aggressively, and he's going to get the Hex. He's got the wards placed down. Shackles are there as well. Palos going to be following up. Gardic's going to be there. And Lumiere looking for the kill on the Shaman. Will be able to get that one as well. Shanks is dead. They've got 3 in now. Maybe even 4. And this is a fight that Hokori can finally take. They started off with the big one. And can they get Palos so close to getting him at 120? He's going to be more than enough for Palos to live.
Ooh, that was close, and this is how Hokori fights need to look.
That's 5,000 XP for Hokori. 5,000 for 3 kills.
Execration showing their supports. The second they show their supports, if the supports are dead, you can actually run circles around the cores, and then the damage output, because it's constant, it will be enough. The thing is, you just cannot burst people down. So Tino is out of the fight, the supports get caught, and there's no more fight for Execration. The thing is, this is not gonna happen too often. This is one mistake right now, but at least it gives you 2 minutes of the Aegis, and that's the Aegis that Execration would like to get a racks with.
Be a big dip on the grass. Weaver, that's half of his HP gone to Bob. Yeah, we're trying to get a Psyblade spill stun for the Carapace on the Nyx Assassin. I guess you can do that. Weaver's got so much mobility that if he has a projectile following him around, Nyx Assassin can line up right behind him, and if Bob doesn't have refraction on, he's an open target. I wonder if they want to try that again. It is really down to sheer luck if you get that, but if you do, that could be so big. I'm reaching out again, I know, but it's possible.
It is. I think it's just Theolicor maybe seeing how it lines up. If he'll be able to do it in that situation in particular, probably wouldn't have done much. Bob was too far away.
Yep. Palos and Team Tino's already in Firefly. They're gonna go jumping. Oh, they all stacked up. They're all just stacked up right now. Theoliker, he's in the front. They've got the lasso. Guardian Age of the safe Lumiere. They did pop the Aegis off of Bob, and now BKB, freshly used, needs to get some damage out, but they're escaping from Lumiere. Lumiere dropping low as well. Time lapse only bring him down to half HP. The vessel is there. Venomancer getting caught in them outside of the base, and Vitaly is just gone.
He didn't use the Poison Nova. If he used the Poison Nova there, the chase would have been possible from Hokori. Now they're just helpless.
Yeah, we're too far for him to get an optimal Nova off, and he just thought, maybe I'll hold on to it. And he didn't get to use it at all. There's no Aegis on Bob, but he's a BKB still remaining. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, Lumiere trying to cut the wave. Palos is going to be there. He tries to go for a random hook. Does not connect. Top rack's already taken away. Bob finishes off this entire top lane. Is going to be now passively pushing in towards Hokori's base with a 15k net worth lead going in favor of Execration. Bob's still outside the base, though. Oh!
Okay, he now knows how side blades line up, you know, so...
Oh, my poor heart. Oh, my poor heart. Theoliker, don't do that again.
It's fine. You're not even close, Panda. Not even close. He knew what he was doing.
Shanks
Shanks
walks
is
on
in
top of
trouble.
Lumiere. He will use the Ogre Seal Totem to get a bit of distance. That also works nicely. He's got the bug. He's still struggling with the bug, though. Bob's there, but he's already gone. And that's 700 gold for Lumiere. These comeback mechanisms are just nuts. That is
Now
so
they
much
should
money.
go for more. Now they should go for more. And you're going to be seeing Execration just completely pulling back because they know without one of their supports, mainly the Shaker, they just don't have enough control to fight.
Still in the driver's seat for Execration. Pretty happy with what's going on right now for them. They can just keep up this constant. They will find themselves victorious at the end. A lot of pushing power still to be provided. Though this TA, well, at least on the positive side for Hokori, I guess you could say TA doesn't get that much bigger anymore. You know, 25 talent is up. You can still kind of squeeze
Nullifier.
in the missing pieces that you want, but this is kind of the optimum. Maybe the global teleporting TA is still going to be a massive issue at some point when you get the Aghanims buff. But
I kind of feel like the Nullifier is the problem that's going to come out.
yeah, that probably is. Tino looking for analog. He's got Lincolns. Just get this phase shift off just in time. That is a bit of an issue there because the Fat Rider did use his Force Staff before, so he did not even get to pop the Lincolns. He had nothing to pop it with.
Look at Execration. They want this triangle on the other side. Hokori don't want to let go of it. They're just playing around it. But that's why Execration are just going to be going straight into the base. And Hokori are going to have to move. So
Yeah,
you're
to get
setting
back.
up for a fight. It's not going to happen.
Yeah, get back or get in. Tino's doing scouting work with Napalm. He's like, all right, I'm going to make sure you're not in the back line. The wards are down. Lumiere with the DD. This is the best fight that Hokori could look for. And it needs to succeed now. And they will find for the first one, Execration. They're going to be regrouping. Vitaly with a chase. Lumiere coming in for the side as well. Bob on the low ground coil misses. Very close call. Still on the chase. Continues to go forward. Lumiere finds a trap for himself. Gets hit by the Meld Strike. There's a Fisher Stun from Shanks to follow up to connect onto two. And they found him, but the hook save from Palos and the Ogre Seal Totem on top of the hook. So he's flying while he's being hooked. But Shanks is still gonna go down no matter what. Analog still continuing looking for more. He's got another orb available. Blink is up in 1 second. Are they just gonna go full on crazy here? Into the triangle. Looks like they will give up for now. They got 2 kills. They saved their racks. Hope still lives. And Weaver is balancing between... Okay, now I understand. So he had his Gleipnir lined up, but he bought Butterfly in between. Now he's got Gleipnir lined up again.
Lumiere is a big problem for the side of Execration right now. They don't have much to deal with him. He uses the BKB and he doesn't die. That's just the case. With the Butterfly, the TA is not an issue any longer.
They have the lasso, but they need a way to pop Lincolns if Analog decides to cast it on Lumiere. But that's basically it. They need the Bat alive. If Bat's the first one to die, they can't kill Weaver.
Getting a little bit uncomfortable here for Execration. I think they're not using that fissure into a hook. They felt the entirety of the game that they didn't need it, and Palos was always just jumping in. Even now, he has the overwhelming blink, so he would like to just jump into the backlines of Hokori. But if it's Hokori that gets one kill, it is a problem. The good thing for Execration though in that last fight is that Hokori got a little bit too kill hungry, and they didn't push out the lanes in time. So Execration will have time to kind of spread around the map and play where they want to.
Puck is also going for extra armor. See the Shiva's guard come out. That's going to be a very useful tool for Vision too, but somebody is either going to have to carry the gem for him, or then he's going to have to give up one of his items to be able to equip it. We are sitting outside the Roche pit. 25 seconds. Roche to be up. Bob is scouted out with the orb, but he's got the entire team right behind him at a safe distance. They will smoke up, suspecting there is Vision here, but their Hokori are blind in the triangle. They will spot Bob again. And now they also know where Hokori is because of the Plague Ward positioning.
It's a bit easier for Execration to fight if Hokori are on the left rather than them being in the triangle. It's easier to defend the triangle than the big jungle. So in terms of positioning, Execration should be happy right now if the fight ensues.
See what they can achieve with this. They're still smoked up right behind Lumiere. Holding their position here in mid, and Roche is up, but they can't really sneak it, can they? There's a psionic trap in here. But as that trap wears out, they just got information. Lumiere started. Instant TP's coming in. This is going to be a race to the finish line here. They can't quite go for it. They force Execration back, so bottom continues to stand still. But they're looking for Tino. They got Tino. Tino, the perfect target to go for. He goes for the BKB first. He surprises Hokori, and they will take down him. But the coil is onto 2. Abeng is also very low in HP. Bugs will be flying in. They've got Abeng controlled with it, but he has the backup of his allies, and they've lost the Nyx Assassin. Tino was faster. Tino was smarter. He embraces the entire team of Hokori just to get the jump in first. Vitali needs to get out of there. Being chased by Polos with the BKB. Unbelievable. This Puck just single-handedly nuking them all down. And that is a Roche kill for Dire. Bob with the snatch, but that is also the same as losing the gem in the pit. But he did steal the refresher shard for the Puck.
Tino was under vision. Tino was under vision, and he got the sticky napalm off at the right time, immediate BKB, and jumped in. It is just an outplay that happened. On paper, that should have been Hokori's fight. You kill Tino. He does have a buyback, but he doesn't have good places to TP to. The top tier 1 is the best one, and then the chase is on. You possibly lose even more there if you're Execration. But Tino, just beautifully done. He uses his spells, his items perfectly, and he sets up the fight and pretty much the win now for Execration.
Yeah, pretty much. They can still go for another fight and hope for the best, but right now Lumiere is being trapped around. He's going to get stunned by the fissure on the BKB just before Abeng is in shackle range. Look at the teleport away. There's no lasso. Can't do anything to him. Meanwhile, Bob on the high ground. He sees the Oliker is around the area. Gardic is also there. Lumiere's needed for the damage. Oh, he blinks out from the Impale stun. Man, Bob is so fast. He's so goddamn fast. He's 20.03 as well on this TA.
Yeah, Bob is having an insane performance, not only in this game, but for the entirety of the tournament. Bob has been very consistently awesome. Not even good. He has been awesome. Like, it's insane. Hokori, they had the chance there to fight only Bob.
Caster
now
curse.
They'll fight anyone.
He almost caster cursed Bob there. He did get initiated on. He's going to lose the Aegis here. 80 HP is gone. Palos charging in once again. He's done this a million times before. He will continue to do so again. He finds Vitali, the target that he wanted as well. They do get the Nova out. It doesn't connect onto the TA. Palos is down. Lumiere with 1,000 gold picked up from this kill, and if only they had a basher or something, but they don't. They have no way to cancel teleports. And Hokori on the chase once again. There is Tino with the tree line with Napalm, and Weaver so close to finding him, but he walks past, and again, just not close enough. The Oliker comes in with the Impale stun, but he's already half a second behind the situation. And that comes with the buyback coming out from the Nyx Assassin to somehow still salvage the situation. But man, with all the money that they get from all these kills on the side of Hokori, it's
Dire's middle
just
tower
not
is being
enough.
attacked.
All things considered, not that bad, but Execration, they're gonna use them and catch them on the retreat. This was really beautiful.
Lumiere. He's got a buyback. Shanks with the Echo Slam. Gardix down, but Lumiere is able to get out with the time lapse. The Oliker's also going to be there with the Carapace, going to get the stun onto the Bat Rider. Also, the Fissure will connect onto the Shaker himself, but Albing is there, and that's a dieback on your stun man. The Oliker is down.
Beautifully done by Execration. They understand that Hokori want to push out lanes. They wait for a couple of,
Bob's
I'd
not
say
waiting in
minutes. Yeah, they wait for the lanes to be a little bit outpushed for them to disperse, and then they strike at the perfect time. Just beautiful Dota coming out from them.
Dire's middle tower is
Bob
being
sitting
attacked.
on 38,000 net worth on this TA. Unanswered for. No replies, just 2 Aegis kills, but outside of that, he has not died a single time this game. Absolutely enjoying this Dota match to start off the lower bracket finals. Potentially with a victory for Execration, because Hokori, this is all that's left of the base. This is all that's remaining. There's not a lot here.
They'll have 5 heroes when the Pudge arrives, so it is gonna be a 5 versus 5 for Hokori. The thing is, you still need to catch the backline, and Tino is hunting.
Tino doesn't want to even give them the chance for it, but he is scouted. He's spotted there.
Nice
Here's
play
the
wards
one in the
placements.
front. Trap's gonna be right next to the Weaver. Lake wards are giving them a bit of an advantage here. Analog onto the back line, looking for Albing. Albing down. There's gonna be the first kill. Bob's also jumping very low, but he will be able to jump out in time. He's also teleporting all the way home from that, and they will find Palos, but Shanks with the Echo! Shanks does a lot of good work here, but it's just not enough. They will take down the next Assassin, but outside of that, he's the only one to fall from that Echo damage, and they heal themselves back up. And that they will hold. Hokori will hold. Palos down for 80 seconds.
Dire's middle tower is
This
being
Pudge
attacked.
just doesn't get the play.
Just goes to show that when Hokori have vision, that their lineup is just so good. The thing is, for the entirety of the game, they were unable to kind of mount up that defense around the Veno, and that is the reason why they were constantly losing. Now, when they have nothing to lose, when they have to have 5 heroes at place, it is very hard for Execration to crack the base, and almost killing Bob there, that would have been like 2k gold, maybe even more, going into the hands of Hokori if Bob dies, and luckily for Execration, at least he doesn't give them that.
Hokori is unlocking some team secret strats here. We've got a Lotus Orb on Omni, we have a Linkens on Puck, we have a Linkens on Veno, we have an Aeon Disc for the next Assassin, and then we have the Weaver just going straight up full damage. Is it
The
gonna be
Weaver
enough?
having the Titan Sliver and the SNY is a big deal. You're dealing with so many stuns, and you have like, it is 37%, right? Status resistance. That should be something like that. And so it is very, very tough for Execration to lock him down from 100 to 0.
Something like
Let's see
that.
if they can do it.
Weaver is getting a bit soft here. They even used the Echo Slam for it, and that's an opening. Bob actually just jumped into this one. They can target him right now, and he's forced to use his BKB. Guarding at the back. The Oliker coming in as well with the stun onto the Bat Rider, and onto the Weaver they go. Weaver dropping very low on HP. He's down to 700, but now they've got themselves the next Assassin. The Aeon is well. Bob, they're going to stun on Bob. Bob's going to be in trouble. Bob has nothing to
mana.
live with. He's gone. Bob down for the first time this game. Lumiere will be able to take this one. Hokori pushing the advantage. They got the biggest kill out of this game. Lumiere with 1,250 gold plus 1.4k shared for the team, but this is still not over. Palos on the hunt. Tino is coming in as well. Very
more.
close to it. Gardic's going to be there with the flame break, tossing onto him. Bank down, sniped by Analog, and they will kill Gardic at the same time. Albing was so separated from the rest of the team, and he just got caught the hook almost there as well. But the Puck's deciding to stay on the spot. He's got a face shift. The Oliker's coming in as well. They need Lumiere.
Lumiere is
They
running
need
back.
backup for him. They need help for Analog. He's going to get lassoed up. He's controlled. He's killed. He's dead on the spot. The Oliker's
big boy's
dead.
coming.
Lumiere's too late. He's too late for this one. The entire
force.
plan for Hokori to go for that bait play was playing around Lumiere, getting there on time for the damage, but now they just died, and Execration got 3 kills.
I was looking at Lumiere the entire time. There were some hesitancy from him. Should I run or should I stay in the base? And because of it, he didn't get there in time. That was like 5 seconds difference that he was unsure, going left and right, maybe even more. And then he's not there to assist this puck. If he was there, that would have been a lot different. Now he even has a basher, so TPing out, not that easy of an option for Execration any longer. He will have an abyssal as well.
The range basher. The range basher for the Weaver. Yep, they needed something against those BKBs, and that's definitely going to be the tool. He's got a lot of attack speed, so that might work for them. Vitaly already uses the vessel. Bob attacking from the side, and Lumiere's going to be there. He's got the first hit bash as well, but there's still the blink because the refraction is there. Palos, he's being pummeled by Lumiere. He's going to get stunned again. Another basher does come through from Lumiere. He's going to get the cheese heal, but he's down to 2k HP. And Hokori, momentary resets, still keeping the racks up, but the tier 4 just took another 400 damage while that was happening, and it's just not going to hold for a lot longer. The Ancient's going to be open wide.
It's not looking good for Hokori in terms of map control. They're constantly losing it, even though killing the TA, the gold lead continues to increase just because they're not getting any farm. And Execration now they're hunting. This is something that Hokori.
Oh, they've got
might
the
not
Lumiere.
expect.
They've got the catch. Gardic is running after him and trying to get the save, but they're pulling him even further away. The Oliker, is he gonna be able to save this Weaver? No. He's going to have to buy back for this one too, but they're already dying on the side of Hokori. There's the Poison Nova. Analog in between. He's not buying back. They gave up. Now he's... No, okay, he's not giving up. He's coming in now. They waited for the punch to commit a bit deeper into the face for Palos to die. Maybe now they can get more, but it really needs to pay off because that took a long time for the buyback to kick in. And this Ancient is wide open. Wards are pummeling it. Creeps are hitting it. Creeps are still hitting it. Nobody getting the aggro off of them at this current time. And now Lumiere, he's about to drop as well. Does get the time lapse off, but Tino's going to be right there on top of him. And he's going to be burning. This Weaver is down. Dieback is a certainty. And that should be game. 4 versus 2, and Hokori kind of defenseless. Analog trying his best to buy some hope, but 2 minutes while your Ancient is still being hit. Vitaly's dropping low. Tino with his BKB burning up the worm. And this Venomancer, he's about to drop, but he does have a Lotus Orb to dispel. The vessel is there. They're actually going to kill Tino here. They're actually looking to kill him here, but it's going to be enough damage. Doesn't look like it will. Puck is down as well, and that is the end of game number 1.
Oh, what an ending! But them controlling the Weaver, that was the main thing. I kind of thought this might be a bad move for Execration, but with the refresher on the Batrider, just getting him so far away, even with the massive status resistance that he had, the Titan Sliver, the Senjin Yasha, it just was not enough to survive through all of that. When you see Execration, you think single target lockdown, and then status resistance has worked so well for him for this game, but just not enough. I have to say, Gardic, he went for the Lotus Orb in this game. I would have preferred the Blink. Imagine a Blink there. Imagine a Blink in this game being able to counter Tino. We saw a Blink yesterday on Anomaly Night, and it worked out so much better in terms of saving people. Gardic, he just thought he could stand his ground, but Execration, they found the loophole, went for the refresher, and they forced staff on Tino, getting the Weaver out, and then the lockdown is just going to be enough for him to die. So beautifully done by Execration there towards the end, but overall, a very nice game for both teams. So Corey, I have to praise them. Even though they were on the back foot, they did manage to understand how they need to play. Split push. Sometimes if you want a team fight, do it around the Veno. If your puck or the Veno is dead, just bail on a team fight completely and play the game that way. That's why they lasted for 51 minutes, but in the end, Execration didn't make enough mistakes for them to come back.
Yeah, they held on to the end as long as they could, and that is a valiant defense from Hokori, but it wasn't enough for them to get themselves a comeback to mount. There was that one good fight that they got rolling at the very last minutes of the game, pushing into bottom, getting a good chain feed there out of Execration's heroes. That's how Hokori's lineup kind of works. They get one, followed into another, and get this chain of kills going in their way. But this lineup was not meant to last against TAs and Pudges jumping at the same time with full-on team lockdown control from Execration. So in this case, the laning stage rolling out into Bob's favor. The TA was the big powerhouse of this game. Palos maybe played a bit of a a decoy turkey this game, but in the end, it works out. Victory is all that you need to get. But hey, this is the first game of the series, and now Execration one step closer to the grand final spot. Can they do it in game 2, or are we going to get a tie? We'll find out in a bit.